Hey everyone, Stephen here, and welcome to a bonus episode of On a Water Break with. Today we're taking our sideline chat over to a new sport. We're going into the world of baseball and marching arts entertainment, and if you've ever seen the Savannah Bananas in action, then you know that this is going to be good.
Awesome.
8 off the mat and go.
Welcome to On a Water Break, the podcast where we talk everything marching arts.
Everyone, bring it in. It's time for a water break.
All right. Hey, everyone. It is Stephen, and I'm really excited about this conversation because if you don't all know by now, I am a member of the Eagles drumline, and any chance that I get to talk to someone about entertainment drumline, I am thrilled to do it. So I'm in. But before we get to our guest, make sure you subscribe to On a Water Break on your favorite podcast listening platform. Please rate and review the show. Share the episode with someone that loves sports, or maybe they love the Savannah Bananas. There's a lot of Savannah Banana fans out there. And if you're interested in being a guest, you can fill out the form in the link in our bio or email us at onawaterbreakpodcast@gmail.com. So if you're unfamiliar, if you've been living under a rock, I guess, and you haven't seen the Savannah Bananas yet, then you're missing out on one of the most entertaining baseball shows on earth. The Bananas are not just a baseball team. They're a full-blown entertainment phenomenon, combining athletics with circus-level showmanship, dance routines, crowd interaction, and unpredictable stunts. It makes every game feel like a party. They've gone viral for their videos on TikToks, stunt at-bats, choreographed celebrations, and altogether, they just really turn the game into a stage for performance. But behind that whole show is a drummer who is not just keeping time, he is keeping up with all the baseball shenanigans that the Bananas get into as well. So finally, welcome to the show, Neal Bright.
Hey, how's it going?
Doing great, man. Thank you for coming on. I'm really excited to hear about kind of your role with the Savannah Bananas and how you got there, what your job with them looks like. But let's start this out the way we always do, and that's with a 32 count life story. So that'll give you about 30 seconds. It's 8 bars at 60 BPM for you to bring our audience up to speed on everything from the moment you were born to today.
All right, let's do it.
You'll get 8 off the mat.
All right. All right, born in Savannah, raised right outside Savannah in Effingham, graduated from there, went to Georgia Southern, went to Vandercook, went to West Georgia, taught in Metro Atlanta for 12 years, went through a divorce, went back home, and now I'm teaching where I graduated from and have joined up and had the opportunity to play with the Savannah Bananas, which is where I am at currently in life. And also have a baby on the way.
Oh, nice. Congratulations.
Thank you.
How'd you get involved with the Savannah Bananas? I know you're from the area, but
yeah, when I moved back home, the band leader Sean was my supervising teacher when I student taught. So I taught with him for 2 years, and they were still doing college ball, just the summer tour, and it was a championship series. And the kid that was playing with them couldn't play, and so he just sent me a text and said, "Hey, do you want to come play drums?" I was like, "For what?" And I remember being in Atlanta when they announced the Bananas, and I was going, "Okay." And I said, "Sure, I'll come play." And it was a pretty, hoot of a time, so to speak. And next year, I just went back, and it's been 6 years now. It's been going, so I've seen the whole the transition from college ball into the banana ball into what it is now.
Into the banana ball. I love that.
Right.
Okay, so you've really been there probably throughout the entire rise of their social media kind of growth. They've really, really, really gotten popular in the last, I'd say, 2 years?
Yeah, 2.5. We won the CPL, the college playoff. The 2 years I was there, we won them, and then that's when we did the One City World Tour, and we went to Mobile, and blew it out and had a good time, and then it started going from there. It was just taking off.
Just been growing.
Yes.
Yeah, it's been meteoric. It's been really cool. I first heard about Savannah Bananas from my girlfriend on TikTok. I understand that seems to be how a lot of guys are finding out.
Yeah, it's got to be. I'm in Bethany Beach, Delaware right now at my buddy's house
Oh, okay.
before I go to DC, and we were on the boardwalk in a store yesterday, and one of the employees, I mean, she had to be 20-year-old, said, "Have you been to a Bananas game?" I said, "I've been to a few of them." She said, "I'm going on Friday." I said, "To DC?" "Yeah." I said, "All right, I'll see you there."
Nice. So
Mm,
that's cool. You're out there traveling to all these games.
yeah.
Okay.
I probably play at close to half of them. We have another drummer, Micah. He lives in Atlanta, and so we kind of we play together a lot. But if
Hmm.
not, at least one of us is there. There's very few cities that we have a sub come in, but sometimes that has to happen because we're both teachers.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your role during a typical game then?
Well, we show up, get everything set up and staged. We do some rehearsals pregame because the stage show. I mean, we start the show 3 hours before the actual event happens.
Hmm.
Um, there's 20, 30,000 people in the plaza, maybe even more than that.
Yep.
Pregame when we're doing all the show with the cast. So we'll back up Princess Potassia. She's singing. We do opening number. We do some things, and just then we have to stop. We go do some rehearsals on the field. Um, and then we do the big parade with all the players through all the mayhem where we play Hey Baby, which is our big thing. We do that 3 times a game.
Okay.
And then we'll do a pre-show where the band will play 30 minutes as everybody's kind of going in. So that's our big spot. Outside is pre-show and post-show. We do two 30-minute sets.
Okay.
Rocking, which I get to play drum set, but everything else is in the stadium, and that's where the marching drums come in. And we either play on the field with some of the players, maybe singing. We have a spot in one of the half innings, and we play Uptown Funk in one of the upper deck.
Okay.
Normally, we get up as high as we can,
Yeah.
um, and play that, and then we parade around. We'll play Happy Birthday to little people, and we'll just go into suites or whatever, and just entertain people because we
Nice.
try to take the show up because these big stadiums, with 60, 70,000 people, if you're not on that lower bowl, it's hard to watch a baseball game. And so we just try to go up there and entertain everybody.
Nice. Okay. So then it seems to me like you probably have like some scripted, rehearsed sort of performances. You also have some more improvised, like on the spot, um, different types of entertainment band things that you do. Um,
Yes, our scripted slots are if we play In the Air Tonight with Dalton Malden, second baseman, he's the guitar musician,
oh,
and
okay. Hmm.
Princess. We do that during the pre-show on the field, kind of warm up the crowd before the players run out. That's the spot right there. We get done, and then they introduce the players and they run out. That's the scripted one. The parade where we throw out beads and get everybody hyped up before everything happens. That's a scripted moment, and then our slot in the middle is scripted. And if we have to
Hmm.
do anything else involving the field show, then those are all written into the script. And we know every half inning what's happening, every
Wow.
promo, everything. We get that before the day even starts.
That's actually honestly sounds really organized compared to
Oh
what
yeah,
I hear about a lot of entertainment band. Um, Seems like there's so much thought, and it makes sense because you guys have such a great social media presence and you're always putting together new things that people enjoy. So it's really all curated by like a team of people that are trying to plan these events well in
yeah.
advance.
Like even all the run sellies are in place.
Hmm.
Like if the Bananas win an inning and they're going to have this big run selly that they put on TikTok,
Yeah.
those are all laid out for if it happens.
Okay,
Or
I see.
so there's nothing that really catches them by surprise.
Hmm.
There's always kind of a scenario for if someone hits a home run, if someone gets hit by a pitch, what inning it is. It's all
Yeah.
everybody knows exactly what's going on,
Wow.
and it's cool. So if we're in section 304 up at the very top of the stadium, we know where they're at in the game. So when we have to do Hey Baby in the mid fourth and go get on a dugout, we can get down there because we're like, oh, we're in the middle of the third. We're gonna have to get down there and make some time. So we know where we're at all times during the game.
Wow. Yeah, that's super coordinated. Um, and it makes sense too why you guys have such great content. There's actually a lot of effort going into it. It
Oh
seems
yeah,
like. Yeah.
that's for sure. That's probably been their bread and butter. That's been
Hmm.
what has made it happen.
Hmm. Um, so for all the players out there too, are they like rehearsing their entertainment
Yeah.
slots essentially during the week when they're not in games?
Yeah, I think their practice is laid out like an hour and a half baseball, an hour and a half entertainment, what they're doing.
Wow.
Or 2 to 2. I don't know what their time frame is, but I know that half of their rehearsal is practicing and doing baseball, and half of their rehearsal is how they're going to do all this stuff. And
Wow.
that's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or whatever our schedule looks like for the week, whether we're traveling or they're home. That's what they're doing.
That's wow. Yeah, that's so crazy. That's
Yeah.
so never heard of anything like it, but they're having so much success with it. It's clearly a good idea.
Yeah. And the baseball's fantastic. I know there's a lot of hate and they get ragged on for it being a circus, but they can play baseball. How many people you've seen do a backflip catch out in the outfield? How many and I'm not saying the pro ballers can't do it, but how many times have you seen that happen in a game? I've seen it at least twice in every game. It's crazy. It's
At
crazy.
least twice.
Yeah.
is crazy actually.
It is. It
Wait,
doesn't
so
make any
take
sense.
me through the backflip catch and take the audience through the backflip catch if they haven't seen it.
Well, I've tried to learn how to do it because I'll go do batting practice and go out there and I'll shag balls because who doesn't want to play baseball in a baseball stadium if you're a baseball fan? So I'll go out there with DR and do some trick plays, but I can't do a backflip. I'm 44 years old, so that's going to be that's a little bit beyond me. But I mean, he's waiting on it, and then he goes up, and grabs the ball on the way back around, lands it. It's just
That's so crazy.
And Coach Rack does it now. That's like the thing. That's the staple.
Yeah, that is an insane thing. My girlfriend has showed me a lot of Savannah Bananas videos, and she's showing me the wrong ones. I want to see that.
I mean, I could catch a fly ball behind my back, but like Reese, the right fielder, he does it spinning in a tornado fashion because he's the super Reese. So it's just they do a little bit of extra stuff to make these things work.
Yeah, the showmanship of it all is so impressive, especially to still be playing baseball in all of it.
Yes. The game is not scripted whatsoever. Just all of the innings and what's happening in between the play.
How they'll react to the game. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So those things are, but the game is not. It's a real baseball game. It's entertaining because they're good.
Yeah. And then the actual baseball league, you mentioned earlier, are they a college team or is this minor league? Or
no, when it was a summer college team, after it got from minor league with the Sand Gnats, it was a summer CPL college team, Coastal Plains League, and it was just a 2-month summer wood bat league. But now that it's banana ball, there's 4 teams. They all play banana ball, and there's 2 more teams being added in October, and there's actually a championship happening in October between all 4 teams. So it's it's our rules. It's the banana ball rules.
Yeah. Okay.
No bunting, and if you catch a foul ball as a fan, it's an out. That's a pretty cool rule. That's probably my favorite. That's probably my favorite rule.
Cool. I didn't even know.
And when they catch it, they bring them down on the field and they celebrate, and it's crazy. Like I've seen games end with a fan catching the ball. Game over. Done.
Game over. He caught it.
Yes.
He caught the ball. It's out.
2 outs in the 9th inning. Done. So but the league is really starting to develop because it was just primarily the bananas and the party animals. But then they added the firefighters. That's who we're playing this weekend in DC, and then the tailgaters. And it's just, it's blowing up, and he's going to have a league. I don't know if it's going to be 6 or 8 teams. I have no idea, but it's going to be a banana ball league.
A banana ball league, yeah.
Yeah.
And these events are huge.
Oh yeah.
They're selling out probably when they go to any of these cities, right?
It doesn't take. Honestly, it will take 2 to 4 hours to sell out a major league stadium. Like it's done. As soon as they go on, they're gone.
That's so crazy. The Phillies don't even sell out the Phillies stadium.
No. And I've heard the argument, and I get it. Some people say, well, it's just a show. It comes into town for 2 days. Sure, but people that are buying these tickets just say, or get in the lottery. They get in the lottery, and they don't know what game they're going to get. So we'll be in D.C., and there'll be somebody from Arizona that's at the game because that's the game they got. And so they plan a vacation, and they come to the game. So that's how it works. You don't know what you're going to get.
And then I'm going to have to get in early on whenever I go. Me and my girlfriend were talking about going. When I told her that I was doing this interview with you, she was mad. She's like, I can't believe that you're talking to someone from the Savannah Bananas today and you didn't tell me. I was like, yes.
It's been definitely a wild thing. My 14-year-old and my 6-year-old, or my 11-year-old, they've loved it. And I mean,
I
they're here
bet.
because they're going to this game, but they're kind of not over they love it that I'm the drummer and I'm a part of it and that they can do it kind of when they want to, but they're like, it's cool, Dad, but so, but yeah, exactly. Right. So, but it's okay. They still
Well,
like to be around it, just not as much as I do it.
yeah, they take it. They get what they want, and then
Yes.
they still really enjoy it.
Yes. And
But
they get the swag.
do you have any idea like what's been your favorite moment or maybe interaction with fans or something like that?
My favorite moment is probably when we played with Gavin DeGraw last year in Nashville. That was that was a cool moment because they got Gavin DeGraw to come and we ran the drum set out on the field, put it down in like 30 seconds because we had a spot that was this big because he was walking out one of the pitchers. And we played I Don't Want to Be Live with him and it was
Nice.
awesome. It was so cool. It was great.
It's cool how like entertainment band. I've actually had some similar situations with Eagles where you'll end up interacting with some big like
Yeah.
headlining music artist or whatever that's
Yeah.
involved in the same gig. And you look back on it and you're like, how did I get here? I just was a band nerd from high school that played a lot of bass drum. And now you're like,
Right.
I'm back here with Old Dominion.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, I talked to Dirk Bentley in Nashville for a little while. He's a cool guy.
Yeah.
Um,
Nice.
I met dude from Sandlot. You're killing me, Smalls. I met him in Nashville or in Anaheim. And the crazy thing. This is probably the craziest interaction in Anaheim. I met the guitarist from Neon Trees. He was
Oh,
just there
yeah.
with his family, just hanging out. And I went to sign his daughter's ball, and Mom was like, "You got to sign that. Dad's a professional musician." And I'm like, What do you mean a professional musician? He's a guitarist for Neon Trees. I was like, what? So, I saw them in Atlanta before they were even got signed. And so that was really cool. So I talked to him and hung out with him, and he was a super cool guy. So you just never know who you're going to meet. Honestly, you never know.
Yeah. Never knows, right?
No.
That's one of the cool things about entertainment band, man. That definitely isn't present at all in the regular side of the marching
Oh,
arts.
yeah.
So
And we did a wedding in Sugarland. Like, we married two people on the mound, and the band was there to play the music as they walked through. It was crazy.
nice. A
Uh,
whole Savannah Banana wedding.
Yes. So talking about the fans, that was a cool fan moment because they got married because their wedding was on the day they got the tickets, and they didn't know, they just wanted tickets to that game. So we married them there.
When duty calls, you
I know,
gotta.
right? That was cool.
Well, here's one last question I have for you here before we pop into our next segment. But is there anything that you think that the marching arts maybe could learn from sports entertainment or from entertainment band?
I don't know. I mean, obviously, those dudes can play. It's I love it. I mean, obviously, wearing my shirt from last year, that was a great
Hmm.
show.
Nice. Yeah, that's the
You know,
Boston shirt, right?
that was a great show. And I think they're entertaining. I said something 3 days ago because I was looking to take my kids to a show, and it's just so daggone expensive now. Even to go to a to go to a super regional, see everybody, it was going to cost me like almost $300 to take my family of
Ugh.
four.
Yeah.
And my kids love it. My 14-year-old is about to be a mellophone player in marching band that I teach,
Nice.
which is awesome. And
That's
my
cool.
11-year-old's coming into my band. She's going to start on saxophone, but I think she's going to as a percussionist because she's leaning that direction.
Push her a little further.
Yeah, right. And they love it. They love drum corps. Um, but I'm like, $300, golly. And it's a 4-hour drive for us to get there. So it's like, holy
Hmm.
cow. So I mean, I get they got to make money, but I don't know. It's
Yeah.
but can they learn? I mean, I think everything's is pretty entertaining the way they do things now. But it's so much different, right? It's just not like 95, 96 Madison where they just come up to the front. They're like, here we go,
Yeah.
Malaguena, all the way out. We're going to play the last note for 35 seconds and just play the
Nice.
drums as hard as we can. It's not like that now. It's the whole storyline and everything's got to make sense.
Well, that's almost where I feel like it could learn from entertainment band, where
Yeah.
like an entertainment band, a lot of the time we're trying to just do something fun. It's not trying to be
Yeah.
highbrow. I'm trying to make sure that the people that are watching are like, that was cool. I liked it.
Yeah.
sometimes I
I
feel
don't.
like band gets just a little too caught up in trying to be really artistic, and it might forget some of just let's have fun, let's make a fun
Yeah.
product.
Well, as a singular snare drummer, when we're playing, um, I'm not there. I mean, I do some cheesy stick tricks, the bare bones of what I did because I was a quad player.
Okay.
But I'll do them just so people, kind of smile and go, "Oh, it's cool snare drum." But my job when I'm playing snare drum and we're parading or just entertaining some people is to let them know pretty much where 2 and 4 is at and keep something going.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I'm not out there, ramming book reports and Radamachi. I'm just playing
Uh-huh.
just so they know where it's at.
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah. The
it's
easiest songs that we play in Eagles drumline are the biggest bangers.
yes, exactly right. Everybody says you can inject neck in my veins, and all I'm doing on neck is going pump. But that's
Yep,
all I'm doing.
exactly.
You know,
It's all you need. And
exactly.
it's all you need, it's all they want too.
Yep, that's
And
right.
keep all those inner beats to yourself.
That's right.
But all right, we'll be back in a minute here. Neil and I got to practice what we're going to do if they smack a home run in the next inning. Got to be ready
Oh,
for it. But
right.
we'll be back after we get a little couple reps on that one.
Celebrating its 25th anniversary, Guard Closet was founded as a consignment shop in 2000. Since then, it has grown to become your one-stop shop for the marching arts.
Do you need consignment uniforms and flags for your color guard, marching band, or drumline? We have thousands of sets of consignments in stock and ready to ship.
Do you need show design and custom choreography? Our designers have years of experience in the marching arts.
Do you need to sell your items and clear out your storage areas? We take in more than 600 sets of consignments each year and return hundreds of thousands of dollars to our consigners for their sales.
Do you need to have your students order shoes, gloves, and other equipment? We can set up a microsite for easy student ordering of a wide variety of items.
Do you need custom costumes or flags? We can help get you great designs from our team through top vendors like Show Day Designs.
Have you listened to our podcast On a Water Break? Weekly episodes and bonus content keep you entertained and informed with what's going on in the marching arts.
For over 25 years, Guard Closet has been here to help. Check us out at guardcloset.com or follow us on social media.
All right. And we are back. And before we actually get on into what are we doing, I actually was curious, Neil, because sometimes with entertainment band too, it can be long hours. It can have its own challenges, and they're totally different from the things people are familiar with in the regular band world. What would you say is maybe some of the more challenging aspects of being the drummer in the Savannah Bananas?
Well, traveling since I'm a middle school band director and I have normal, middle
Mm-hmm.
school band work hours. Um, Sometimes and the travel team is fantastic at accommodating when I need to get in and out, and the band in general, because most of us are teachers or whatnot. Um, but I'll fly out on a Friday night at 6:30, 7 o'clock, get to wherever I'm going, and it's possible that I might fly out on Saturday night on a red eye after the game if I have to get back for some reason on Sunday. Or there's been twice I haven't slept and pulled up to the airport and drove straight to work.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah. Ugh.
drove straight to school. Yeah,
That's challenging.
when we had the opening series at Arizona, and I was at my Georgia Music Educators Association. I was at convention. I was at conference, and I wasn't originally planning to go because I knew I was going to be out of town. And then Sean said, "Are you going to Arizona? It's to open a series. And we want you there." Blah blah blah. And I said, "Okay." So I left Athens, Georgia, drove to the airport at 6 o'clock Friday morning or Saturday morning. Maybe it was Friday or Saturday. Flew to Arizona, which we know is a time change. Oh my gosh. Pulled up to the stadium right at 2 o'clock to throw the drum on, do the thing. Did 2 games and left Sunday morning or Sunday night from Arizona at like 7 or 8 o'clock and flew into Savannah about 8 o'clock in the morning and drove straight to my school to teach
Oh my God.
on a time change with no sleep. It was wild.
Yeah, you're like the Energizer Bunny. You just keep on
Oh,
going and going and going.
hey, You do what it takes. But it's well worth it, and it's so much fun that sometimes no
Yeah.
sleep is not a big deal.
hmm Now I know what you mean there, because some days, like for at Eagles, for instance, if it's a 1 p.m. game, that's actually a very early start for us. We
I
have to
bet it
get in
is.
a lot earlier than then.
Yeah.
Um, so those days can be long, but entertainment band definitely is worth it. I've had a
Yeah.
ton of fun with it. All right, well, let's get into things here. Let's get into our what are we doing.
What are we doing?
What are we doing?
All right, so this is the part of the show where we let loose a little bit, or could be a lot, depending on what sort of hot take you have, Neal. But it's your chance to rant about something in the marching arts or entertainment world that just doesn't make sense to you. And I'll kick it off, actually, so you could kind of see how it works. But
Okay.
I'd say, what are we doing not telling students about these sorts of entertainment band opportunities while they're marching age? I feel like no one ever, literally ever mentioned to me that there are paid drumline gigs that are out there after you age out, and that you're literally building a resume the entire time to do band that pays, that is, I was about to say more fun, but it's at least very, very fun in a different way.
Yeah.
Compared to the competitive side. And it literally, I view it like it is the payoff for all those years of literal tuition that you were paying to develop a skill. While I was marching, people would always say, like, oh, it's this useless skill you're developing that once you age out, it's going to be a useless skill. It's literally not. I get paid.
No.
It's
Yes.
a very valid part-time job of mine that gives me real income and like is the most fun thing I do.
True.
But what do you think about that? And kind of, were you even aware of like entertainment band as an option when you were marching?
I know, and I don't know if it's become more prevalent and more
Yeah,
relevant, probably, in more recent times, especially with
I
drum
agree.
lines and whatnot,
Yeah.
um, and the entertainment value of that. But I didn't know that the Bananas had a band. Um,
hmm
Sean is one of the high school band directors in the county I teach at, and he just kind of put together a high school mini band to do things with kids, and because that's what Jesse wanted.
hmm
And I don't know, it wasn't even paying. It was just a bunch of kids that went and got free food, and they had some entertainment. But then when it started getting serious and we started being more integrated in the show and more a part of the show, that's when it started. But I had no idea about it. Like I said, when he called me, I said, "Play drums for what?" And he was like,
Yeah,
the
exactly.
banana." I'm like, "The baseball team?" Yeah.
The
Okay.
bananas.
Yeah, right. So, but my kids at my school that I teach, they know, and
Oh yeah.
the parents, they know, and I tell the kids, I know you're in sixth grade band, and it may be frustrating, but there are things you can do way down the road, not teach band, but play and still enjoy this when you get older in a way different capacity
Oh yeah.
than you ever imagined.
hmm Yeah, I never
So
imagined it. And I was the same way, really, with you, where you were like, "This the bananas, the banana band." I didn't know the Eagles drumline
yeah.
had a drumline. It's
Hmm.
existed the entire time I was marching. It's older than my
Really?
marching career. Yeah,
Wow.
that's one thing that's crazy, man. The Eagles drumline. There's 4 dudes on it left that were OG members, and they've been
Okay.
there for all 16 years of it. Um, so the guy that plays bass too, I'm still an alternate for him. He's been playing bass too at Eagles Drumline longer than I've been playing bass drum,
Wow.
and I've had what I feel like is a long bass drum career
Yeah.
that he's been doing
Dang.
just Eagles Drumline longer than that, and
Man.
he was probably marching cadets before I was born. Um,
Dang. That's
but
crazy. Well, they did a Falcons drumline one year, or they did a Falcons drumline for a small run, and a bunch of the kids that were were teaching at Quest, Atlanta Quest, or some of them
okay.
that were marching, because I was marching Alliance at that point in DCA. A lot of those
Oh,
guys did it.
when would that have been? Real
That
quick.
would have
Sorry.
been that would have been '08 and '09.
Okay.
We
All
won
right.
the A class gold medal in '08 and then went to open class in
Okay.
'09. Um,
A good friend of mine marched Alliance, but he probably would have been in like the 2014 ish time.
okay. Yeah, but it was I couldn't get away to do that. I was just having our first kid, and it didn't work out in the cards for me. But they had some players on that line. I mean, like Dave Cox played on the quad line. You know, he was on 98 BD. There were players on that line, and it was cool, but I couldn't do that. And I'm like, that would be really really neat. And
Hmm.
so I'm not at football, but I am in that industry now.
Yeah. And it's cool, man. I bet you probably feel similarly, but I'm so happy that my dominoes fell how they did. That brought me to Eagles Drumline. It's like
Yes.
definitely the most fun, cool thing that I do.
If I hadn't, and you always try to look at where life takes you and why it takes you there. But if I hadn't end up getting divorced and moving back home so the family could help with the kids,
Mm-hmm.
this wouldn't have been a thing because I was in Atlanta. I was in right outside Atlanta
Yeah.
teaching, and that would have never even happened.
Right. Wow.
So
So yeah, things happen for a reason, and
yeah,
at the
it really
very
does.
least, it's a very cool thing that you get to do, man.
And my wife now is my assistant band director's sister. So now it's all crazy.
Keeping the family close.
That's right. That's right.
But do you have a what are we doing? Maybe like some type of hot take, either in the band world or the sports
Well,
or entertainment world?
it again, it kind of stems back to the tickets because I mean, my oldest loves drum corps, and she's like, "Dad, I'll go march Blue Devils." I said, "Are you going to go march Blue Devils straight across?" Okay, cool. But it's so expensive to. I mean, those kids are paying. Some of them are paying $500
Yep.
for the season, and I'm not saying it's not worth it because I know there's a lot of good instruction. I know what they're doing. The product now is, more again expensive than the park and blow
Hmm.
system, but and I'm like, how am I going to figure out how that's
Yeah.
going to happen? I
Hmm.
want her to do it. I think it would be incredible. But on the other hand, it's like, honey, I don't know how this is going to happen. If you make something, who knows?
Right.
So I don't know. That's been a topic on social media, and yeah, again, everybody's got to take on it, and I don't know what the answer is to that. What I would call a problem. I don't know what the answer is. I know people pay a lot of money to do travel sports. They've
Hmm.
equated it to that,
Yeah.
But what you just said, the end game from drum corps experience versus the possible end game from a travel sport could be way different. You could
Yeah.
be done when you age out, or you could end up in the professional baseball association. It's a way
Hmm.
different end game, and
Yeah.
so I don't know um, if is not. I think it's worth it, but you know what I'm saying? Is it
We
what
talk
more
about it all the
beneficial?
time because that's like a big thing that people always are talking about in the marching arts nowadays. And like, I think a lot of our conversations end up going down the road of thinking like it's drum corps is going to have to change. Like maybe BD will still go on tour for 80 to 90 days or whatever. But for all these groups to be able to afford to go on tour and to find 150 people that are going to pay them the money that they need to go on tour, it
Yeah.
just doesn't seem sustainable, unfortunately.
Well, and schools are different now, especially after COVID.
More
And
expensive.
so a lot of people are leery to either let you stay or you're going to have to pay. And
Yep.
a lot of that expense, I don't think they accrued earlier on because people would just let you come stay. The band
Yep.
director would reserve the gym and the band room, and because we hosted Blue Stars when I was at Carrollton. Last
Hmm.
year they hosted Boston, and we've had Spirit has done their camp at Carrollton where I was band director before I moved for a couple of years. That's where their all days have been.
Yeah,
But when you having to pay that, that's a whole extra cost on top of the gas and the food and the everything else.
it is. And the gas is a lot now too. I remember
I
like
think
two summers ago, it was real bad.
it was the revolving uniform is a newer cost
Hmm.
as opposed to having the standard. When I was in high school and in college and drum corps, you knew who was coming on the field. You knew who it was
Yeah, right. Hmm.
without seeing a show, without hearing it. You're like, oh, that's cadets. I know what they're wearing. They got maroon on. Oh, that's BD. They got the blue and the black satin. You knew what it was. Now, if I don't see a show announcement, I'm like, who's that out there on the field playing right now?
And the
A
show
lot of
announcement
times.
too, they'll be so secretive about it. You won't.
Yeah. Yeah.
You won't have even seen the show announcement because they put it out like 2 hours before the show.
Well, I think y'all were talking about that the other day. I was watching the podcast a couple of days ago, and Blue Devils was the first one to come out with it. And man, I'm a huge Blue Devils fan. I love Blue Devils. I don't ever understand what they're doing until I figure it out and put it together. So from their announcement, I have no idea what's going on in their show. It's going to take me a month to figure it out, but the production of the video was awesome. I saw Crown put out their Point of No Return. Is that what they're doing?
Yeah, I think I've seen that. Yeah, Point of No
Yeah,
Return.
and I've seen Boston drum clips from McNutt, but I don't know. We don't know what's going on in the world, I guess, until they start coming out.
Yeah, we'll see it soon. It's finally time, and you could catch the podcast. I'm sure we'll keep a beat on what's going on this summer. But
it also starts much later.
Great job, everyone. Set your equipment down. Gush and go.
You were just going to say the announcements and all that stuff, what starts later?
It seems like the tour is backing up, too, because I thought they used to kind of come out the first or second week of June, start getting going. I know everything wasn't completely finished or polished or anything, but they would start getting out in front of people and playing, and that's that's backed up also now.
Yep. So tour is shorter now, too. I think that's probably a cost-saving measure, but it didn't save a lot of costs on the member end.
Yeah, probably.
Tough.
I still love it. I mean, I love it, but I think they're going to have to figure something out to sustain it, and that's where it's probably going to have to. That's where
it
they're
might
going to
end up being more like weekend band again, just DCA,
like DCA
all
used to be.
age.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I used to show up, Friday night, Saturday, Sunday morning, and that was that.
Mm-hmm. I could see a world where that ends up being what more of drum corps is. But
no.
All right. Well, let's wrap it up with some good vibes here. We've got our Gush and Goes. This is just a quick segment where you could talk about anything that you want, something positive, something good happening in your world that you want to share with the audience. Doesn't even have to be band related, but it's your opportunity. What you got?
Sure. I've got like I said, I've got a baby on the way. My wife is pregnant. She's due in the beginning of December, so hopefully it'll be coming up to the break so I can have some time off.
Nice.
And it's our first child, and it's going to be very interesting, to have a sixth grader, a ninth grader, and then here we go again.
And a baby.
But it's going to be fun. The first outfit I already bought him was a banana onesie. So,
nice.
Get them started right. I don't know if it's going to be a boy or a girl yet. I think we'll find out in a couple weeks. But either way, they got their bananas onesie and ready to go with that. I'm hoping that he or she can be Banana Baby at one of the games when we get started in February, March next year. And that would be a fun little celebration of a newborn. So we'll see how that goes down.
I hope that they're able to do that. Either way, I'm sure that little baby will be the biggest banana fan. That's for sure.
She said there's no banana stuff going in the room as of yet. I haven't got her on that train. The colors are not yellow and blue, but we'll see how
keep on putting the good work in.
Yeah,
you'll get
exactly.
There. All right.
Hey, it's called Gush and Go, not Gush and Stay. Let's go.
Well, I'm going to hold this one up. Hold it hostage, Jeremy. Our producer wants me to get on with it, but I have a good Gush and Go that I want to share with the audience real quick. It's only really relevant to people in my neck of the woods-ish, but Rowan University is hosting a drum clinic with yours truly and the good staff over at Rowan. But the reason that you should send your students is Roger Carter is also going to be there. It's on July 12th. You could find information about this clinic online. I'm sure Rowan University Marching Band has some information about it on their website. I think it's about $35 if you register prior to the end of the month. It's a 2-block day. Lunch is provided. They get a t-shirt too. And it's going to be a great way that you could kickstart some passion for the marching arts in your students, especially if you have any of those high schoolers that maybe would know who Roger Carter is, like they're big Blue Coats drumline fans or Broken City. Great way to get them really motivated and involved. So if you can't find anything, just shoot me a message on Instagram and I'll help you. But please go sign up if you're in the Philadelphia region.
Absolutely. That's a cool opportunity.
It is, man. I'm actually pretty excited about it. I'm going to have to take off a weekend band for a Saturday to do it. But that's pretty crazy that we're getting Roger Carter to come out to the East Coast for
that's awesome.
For a little clinic.
I like it.
Awesome. Well, Thank you, Neal Bright, for joining us today. That's all we've got planned on our show. But it was awesome speaking with you. Where could folks find you online and follow your work?
Neal Drums 1 is pretty much my handles. I think I'm just Neal Bright on Facebook, but yeah.
Okay.
And me and my sister-in-law, assistant band director, we make funny, stupid middle school band content because there's plenty of that out there.
Nice.
And so on top of the drumming and the banana stuff, we just have a good time. Social media, I've never been I've always just posted pictures and cool stuff,
Yeah.
but it's been fun to reach out to people, or people talk to you and just interacting with the band community. There's so many people out there that don't think band is the exact way everywhere, and it is.
Yeah.
Like middle school kids are middle school kids. They're gonna do the same thing
Right.
everywhere.
That's
So
funny. Yeah.
that's been a fun time to interact with people and say, oh my gosh, are you in my band room? I'm like, no, I'm 1,000 miles away, but it's the same exact way here it is
It's the
there.
same thing here. Yep. Well, they should
So
check you out online, find your
absolutely.
videos, check them out. You could follow us at On a Water Break on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook as well. You could subscribe, review, share it with your friends. If you got any marching arts stories, videos, or questions, you can send them to onawaterbreakpodcast@gmail.com and might see it on the show. We'd love to talk to you guys soon. And until next time, we will see you at the next rehearsal on a water break.
The On a Water Break podcast was produced by Jeremy Williams and Christine Reed. The intro and outro music was produced by Josh Lyda. To learn more, visit lydamusic.com. And until next time, thanks for tuning in.